new movie Conclave puts us inside the room where the Pope is chosen, and the first thing that jumps out is just the pomp, the ritual, and the spectacle of the whole thing. Director Edward Berger has made a film of great deference and attention to detail, one that looks absolutely marvelous and has a maturity and respect for procedure and finely written drama that we see all too infrequently at the movies these days. This is a special one. And at its center is Ray Fiennes, an actor who surprisingly still has no Oscars, but just shoots right up to the top of the leaderboard this year for this role. It's Thomas Lawrence is Dean of the College of Cardinals, chosen to organize the proceedings of picking the new pope after the preceding one dies. It's a task he takes on reluctantly. In fact, he's thinking of resigning from the Vatican altogether over a crisis of his own faith. And the complications just continue to mount from there. One is that the favorite amongst the Cardinals is Cardinal Tedesco, played by Sergio Castellitto. He's a religious zealot and ethnocentrist who wants to take the church back to the even less liberal times. There's also Cardinal Tremblay, played by John Lithgow, who may or may not have been dismissed by the former pope for a scandal. And Cardinal Benitez, played by Carlos Diaz, who arrives from Kabul, surprising everyone as only the former pope even knew there was a cardinal in Afghanistan. Several other cardinals are in contention, such as Bellini, played by Stanley Tucci, the most liberal of candidates. He wants an expanded role for homosexuals as well as women, the later of which produces more groans and protests than actual votes. And the emergence of a Nigerian candidate played by Lucien Masmati produces another interesting conundrum. He's a man whose conservative politics are way archaic, but hey, he's black, so maybe that signals a little bit of progressiveness. There is the tension of the unknowable here, as Lawrence gives his opening address, one that challenges them to look past their own preconceived notions and ambitions to do what's right. After giving that speech, it's almost unnerving seeing him walk past many of his cohorts, some of which just stare daggers and others just regard him as an other. We really get the sense of the various political factions against each other here. The ritual of the whole thing is pretty fascinating, detailing how the vote works, the secrecy with which everything is carried out, and the stone-cold silence of the men doing the vote. It feels cultish and even a bit ominous, but the most egregious machinations happen behind the scenes. Who knows if any of this backstabbing actually happens in real life, but there's enough late-night meetings, compromise, double crosses, ulterior motives, and dirty laundry to fill one big spy novel. Coming along with that are the more relatable questions of the ideological differences that always hit us a little bit more every 4 years around this time. Obviously, we have to think about being more forward-thinking, or are we making too many allowances already? Can liberalism overcome hundreds of years of very conservative views? And is voting for the least worst candidate enough? As said, Fiennes is in nearly every scene, and he makes them count with an understated performance that comes with an inner intensity. His Lawrence is a mediator, and a reluctant one at that, but he keeps finding himself pressed to be more. An investigator, an absolver of sins, the moral, unambitious voice of reason, though at first it's hard to say whether we can say for sure we even know what's truly in this man's heart either. Tucci is also very good as a man fighting a losing battle who may also have some secrets of his own, and pretty much everyone from Lithgow to Castellitto, Masmanti, and Diaz are given compelling roles that deepen figuring out what's actually going on here. And Isabella Rossellini also gets a strong, pivotal role as a nun who has some secrets of her own. Berger's film really does coast on wonderful production design, strong characters, and credible, smartly written scenarios that keep finding more intriguing complications. It's only in the last 20 minutes where it doesn't exactly fail, but you can feel Conclave succumbing more to like a shock value, which results in more questions than satisfying conclusions. It's a somewhat cheap way to end an otherwise gripping and intelligent adult thriller. That's why I'm going B+, guys. But that is my opinion. Love to hear yours. Let me know down below there. Also, if you could, click that like button, click that subscribe button. I have reviews, guys. I have a Nora up now. Was up yesterday. Clint Eastwood's Juror #2, that's coming up soon. I hope you take a look at those as well. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you do come back again. Bye-bye.